Welcome back, Teh
Tarik Hour.
We are back again for another episode. Could be a very controversial episode. I mean, when is our episode never controversial?
Haven't you introduced yourself?
Oh, right. As always,
It is Azreen
as always, yes. I'm Azreen, and this is
Ah Kit.
we are back again. The two so high sharing their thoughts on things that maybe they shouldn't think about. Well, in any case, if you've seen the title, you would know today's episode we're gonna talk about something that's very current in terms of like at the time of the recording lah. When we record this is the most controversial and majority covered by news lah.
It's because we are want to base on our opinions, our perspective of view to look of this case lah. I know the world is very messy, but we want to make our mind very clear to our clear perspective to look at this world.
Now, to be honest, no one is asking though for our perspective.
I know, because sometimes we are just like we have this discussion for our booth lah. It's not. I mean, some listener maybe I don't care your guys' opinions or whatever, but we are just want to talk. Yeah, sometimes like. Yeah,
but there are certain things that we feel like it should be talked about, and it's like, you know, some things are hard to talk about, but we still need to talk about it lah. And not many people would use that platform easily, and you know, we just want to give a how to say not so fighting words lah, more like very harmony words there.
Harmony discussions. Even if we are we are sometimes like we feel angry. We are not soft. We are soft in the mouth or with the paper or with something like. It's not with the weapon.
It's really we want to find the empathy, the kindness in this situation. So yes, basically today's topic is about the Israel-Palestine conflict, which is currently ongoing as we speak, as we're recording. By the time this goes up, we don't know what will happen. Just a quick recap over the weekend. I believe there was an attack on Israel by the group known as Hamas, which is the governing body of Palestine. Which a lot of people don't know this, but Hamas is a elected official, like basically like our UMNO or something like that.
Yes.
They are the official governing body of Gaza.
Yes.
Not the West Bank. West Bank is different.
Is it Hamas? They are because they are doing the underground, the maze. They are doing.
Okay, we will get to that. We didn't get to that, but basically Hamas, which is like the militant group, but also at the same time the governing body, launched an attack on Israel. On a certain border there,
yes,
and took a bunch of people kidnapped, and there have been since then a lot of death on both sides. I personally think it's still one-sided towards the Palestinian, with a lot of it being innocent civilians. But yeah, we will get to that. First things first, I want to ask is, Ah Kit, what do you know so far about the conflict between Israel and Palestine?
Okay, for me, because the Jerusalem, this place, I think it's many years as from the history we are know.
Wow, you really go back there one. I mean, I just want to say about over the weekend one.
Oh no, over the weekend, because from we go back to history. Actually, these places is already from Jesus, and then some from even the Islamic, and then the Christian, and then the Judaism, and then the four religions.
I understand that, but can I just point out that what you're talking about right now is actually
it's a history.
It's history, but also a Zionist talking point, often used to justify them going into Palestine, which 2,000 years ago lah. Basically, we're talking here, right?
Okay, but come back to recent years like 1978. 1978. Just now I just go through some history lah. The 78.
Look, if you mention the 2,000 years ago, the Jerusalem and everything, then we also need to mention how the Ottoman Empire also took over. Then the British Empire took over. But what has been consistent throughout was that Palestinian people still lived there throughout that time. Let's just be clear that even back in the Jerusalem days or what, Palestinian people or descendants of those, what is called currently Palestinian people, lived there since then. Okay? So, regardless of what people say, oh, this is the holy land of the Jews and everything, just remember that even that's the case, the Palestinians that live there has lived there since then. Okay, all right. So you jump into now 70s already. Then
No, the 78 because one of the people they are saying, this. I mean, they are peaceful. They have an agreement for the Israel to form up the country in the Arab state.
You mean 1948?
In the one is 1948.
1948. So that's when the Israel state was formed, basically.
Yes, form up. Then they are become one of the country, the very small country from the Jews. I think it come out from one Jewish people. They want to then got the Western people who are support them to form up the country. The
United Nations basically said that we Israel should have its own state there basically.
Yeah, so from the Jewish people, So this is the good, this country.
This was the plan basically.
This is the plan.
So what happened after that? Then after 1948, even then, the lead up to 1948. What do you know about that?
Because among all these countries are Arab state, a lot of countries they are not recognized this Israel is a country. They are basically they're just a new form. It's a one-off place for these Jewish people who are staying there. It's not recognized as a country. Is what I know.
Well, okay, so there's a few things that you left out, which is I feel like it's often taken out of mainstream media story about Israel, which is one of the things is called the Nakba. Are you familiar what is the Nakba?
Not really.
See, how do I say this? The Nakba is basically like the Japanese occupation.
Japanese occupation.
You know how Japanese there, you go to Japan and they say, we never done Japanese atrocities there. Oops, sorry, that's my iPad. Sorry, he also agreed with me. CD agree with me. So the Nakba is basically the Japanese occupation and the treatment. You know about like things like the Nanjang, the Japanese Nanjang thing? And how the unethical treatment of the Chinese people and all that crap, and how the Japanese people have never admitted to it, right?
Yep, correct.
The Nakba is basically what Israel did to the Palestinian, similar to what the Japanese did during their occupation as well. Basically, during the Nakba, Israel military invaded a lot of Palestinian states and villages and whatnot, and killed a lot of Palestinians and threw them out and did a lot of atrocities, from killings, raping, burning villages and all this. But it's never covered because Israel has a very strong propaganda machine, so nobody really knows what is the Nakba. But if you ask Palestinian, the Nakba is which is the Nakba translation is basically massacre, the massacre, and that happened towards the Palestinian. And because of that, a lot of Palestinians ran out towards other states and ran out towards neighboring countries like Egypt and so forth. All these Arab countries, right?
Arab state.
Yes. And because of that, the Arab states acknowledge the fact that, these people are kicking out all these Palestinians. And in response to that, they attack Israel. So that I feel is a much more clearer explanation of what happened, rather than people just say, well, it's Israel and the Arab people don't want to admit it's Israel. There's a reason why they don't want to admit Israel as a state, because of these atrocities that happen. And sure, there are other people as well that would say, well, because there are Muslim extremists who hate Jews. I can't deny that there are some people who think like that, but majority of the Palestinians at the time weren't just Muslim. There were Jewish Palestinian, Christian Palestinian, and Muslim Palestinian, and all of them were displaced because of the Nakba. So that is a big part of history that's never talked about when we talk about Israel and Palestine, the conflict there. So okay,
So Palestinians, I mean, not necessarily be a Muslim. It's just
that's just the story told
The
by
story.
by Israel. Well, it is the narrative pushed by Israel to say that, well, all Palestinians are Muslim. Muslim are all barbaric, so we need to take care of that immediately. When in reality, back during the Ottoman Empire, Palestinians weren't just Muslim. They were, again, Jewish, Christian, Muslim as well. Christian Palestinian as well. So to say that this is a religious thing, I thoroughly disagree to that point. Because again, it's not just Muslim who used to be Palestinian or who used to live in Palestine. But yeah, that is, I feel like, the important aspect we need to consider when we talk about Israel occupation of Gaza and the West Bank currently, and how they encroach, they move their power towards Palestine.
Correct. So then become today, they are moved back to the Gaza. Like Gaza, the place is like a big jail.
Yeah,
all
so
the people.
what happened since then is that Israel control became even more powerful.
Powerful.
They pushed it more Palestinian towards these two small area, which is Gaza.
Gaza, east and west, right?
Yes, Gaza, and then there's the West Bank. West Bank is Palestinian people as well, but it's occupied West Bank, which basically means it's Palestinian, but it is controlled by Israel. So even though you can say like, oh, Palestinians have their own state, which is like the two-state solution, which is what they always talk about, is like, oh, Palestinian and Israel people live together in harmony. But that two-state solution is what happens to West Bank, which is like Palestinian people treated as second-class people. Settlers from Zionist settlers come in and just simply take Palestinian people home.
The
and everything.
Palestinians, the Gaza actually is not so big. It's some kind of like one of our district is so small, and like Pujong, those kind of area.
Yeah, Gaza is actually very small in
but the population.
But the population is at least 2 million, if I'm not mistaken.
2 million.
And the thing is, right, as I know as of recently, is that half of that population is like 18 years and above. It's like children. So a lot of things happened since then, 1948 until 2023. There's a lot of things happened there, and a lot of things that happen is, I would say, unproportionately towards the Palestinian people. In terms of the crimes and atrocities being experienced by them, Like, aside from the formation of the Israel state, what else do you know about the Palestine and Israel conflict? Like, what other things that you think you've heard about this? Not much, right?
Not much.
I mean, like, when you think of Israel, what do you think?
I think because if from the history I know, is because Jewish people, they don't have their own country. They want to form up
their own state,
their own state,
a place they call home,
their
basically.
home. So
which is
this one, they are
fair, right?
Yeah, they
especially
want places for to let the Palestinians, they'll come up one place for Israel, the Jewish people, to form the country lah.
I mean, I understand, like, during that time,
for the beginning,
that time was it was just after World War II, which is the Nazism, which has with genocided a lot of Jewish people.
So because I also very pity that time the Jewish people
understand.
don't have any don't have any home country for them.
And you would understand their desire to find a place where the Jewish people can call home and be safe.
Yep.
But that doesn't push away the fact that how they achieve that state.
Because nowadays they are become stronger, not say stronger because they have certain power to support them. Then maybe
the Western world supports.
You got someone to support. Then I got Taiko. Then
who's the Taiko, right? Who is the Taiko, huh? The biggest and most powerful military industrial complex in the world.
So I got Taiko, then I can not say can say it's a bully or some things like
It's not say bully lah. I would say like people ignore a lot of the things of Israel doings lor. And you can see the difference in like support between Israel and Palestine. Western countries like European countries or America and all this, you see in the thing, all support Israel one. Oh, Hamas terrorists, all this thing. But if you go to the Muslim world or you go more towards like, Asian countries and stuff, you will see it's more towards Palestinian. Which, I find it funny because like Western world, colonizers ma. Asian world or Asia Pacific and Muslim oftentimes are people being colonized. So you see who is who there. Because for me, when I see that, right, it's like when America support Israel, it's like, well, we want to justify colonizing other countries as well, so we need to support Israel. That's why. Okay, I'm laughing too much about this conflict. It's not a funny thing. It's a terrible situation right now.
Yeah, but
there is a lot of complexities in terms of like all the situation that happened. But what is currently happened or what currently is experienced by Palestinians is not complicated. It is an apartheid state. They are being genocided by Israel. Army and government and the IDF, and the Western world is like say kill more Palestinian, especially like children and innocent civilians. So it's I feel like it's very unfair towards the Palestinian.
Yes, I actually I agree because the people who are in Gaza is very suffer. You can see some of the picture in the you can search from Google. You can see the people is very. It's not the place for very.
It is not for human live.
Yeah,
one.
It's like
we
jail.
say. We always say Puchong not for human live one.
No.
Really for not human live one.
It's like like a jail. They are just
it is an open air.
Yes,
open air prison lah.
Yes, an open air prison to let the Gaza, the people who are come out from work in Israel, then they have a time like. The like colony, the time the people.
Yes, that they are colonizers, and this is how they
are put the two Gaza place there. They can let the people come out. Maybe they have a certain time to let them the work in Israel, and then they have the time to go back to their.
But actually, not even that, man. Sometimes it's like I don't think it's even that. They really just cut off the Gaza and the West Bank. Like literally, if you want to go out, you have to go through a lot of checkpoints, border security, and things like. Water, electricity, and everything is all controlled by Israel for the Gaza people. Like, if they are really an independent state, they wouldn't have to be so controlled by Israel at this point, man. They can't even go to the ocean because there's the Israel boats covering the ocean. They can't have an airport. They can't build an airport. They can't build infrastructure because Israel don't allow cement to go into the country. It's that level of control, and to say that it's not an open air prison is to be blind to it, I feel like people who say like, oh, the hardship that's experienced by Palestinian is deserving of them because they support Hamas is really not really seeing the situation there. They don't see Palestinians as human at that point, you see. But
it's an old time like colonial
this colonial
Kapong, those kind of
this kind of like how you say treatment is very wrong to say the least. It is a violation of human rights, which is what Human Rights Watcher, the organization Human Rights Watcher, say a lot of times already. Israel's treatment of Palestine is against is really considered war crime at this point. But we need to also make the fact clear. Does that mean innocent civilians of Israel deserve to die? Of course not. No one deserves death, especially people who are not like part of the war or at least not military people.
Yeah.
And Israel people, or pro-Israel people or pro-Zionists will say like, oh, that means if you agree with Palestine, you agree with Hamas killing innocent Israel people. Of course not. No one deserves death one. But you cannot ignore Israel treatment of Palestine and how that led to where we are today. Instead of saying like, oh, Hamas, they are all just like barbaric people. They just want to kill, they want to behead, they want to rape, and all this thing like, oh, they will all scream Allahu Akbar. You know what? How much Islamophobia has caused because of that. People say yesterday, or 14 October, was supposed to be World Jihad Day. You heard of World Jihad Day before? I never before, man. I don't know this thing. But the kind of like propaganda push because of this is like lead to that already, you know. It's crazy lah.
You know, the Westerns, like state, United States, and then the British, they're all the peoples. Why they are always saying the world is peace, man? How come they not stop this war before? They are come up the solution, not going to do the war. I mean the war things, because we are war. Actually, it's the people who are suffering.
Yes, it's actually regardless of who they are. If there's war,
why not? We just solve off the problem. Like US, maybe they have a power to selling the weapon. How come they don't have a power to stop the war?
Oh, they have the power to stop the war. The question is, do they want to stop the war or not?
Especially now the US government, Biden.
So your Biden already old man already say many wrong things. First he say, oh, I saw the pictures of children beheaded. Then later he said, well, actually he didn't really see the picture one. So they had to change that statement. But people all believe him already.
The Biden is just like what you call it, the Picano.
Hey, your Trump very near. He attacked the Israel people for doing this. Wow, Trump support Palestine. Other people. Trump criticize Israel.
At least do something, you know. The Biden is like
funny, out of all the things. Trump saying, oh, Israel is not good. No, not good, Israel, not good. Wow, so good, Trump, my president. But it is as the last few days I've seen this conflict has really brought up a lot of like crazy people.
But seriously, I got some YouTubes, even the Israel peoples. Yeah, yes, have a dreams and like just a normal people, just a usual people like us, then have a dream. And suddenly they come to change the dream. They become the army. They say they want to protect the country, all that. Yeah, even though I know they protect the country but how come? I don't know Maybe I'm not very deep to the history. We can do. We are soft. We are not using any weapon or not using any things to hurt each other to solve the problem. Why not? We try to like
talk normal, like normal people, right?
Because the thing is only the I think that because the people who are forced to the Gaza that kind of level, why not you are not think, I bully the people. Of course, the people who will come to revenge or something.
I think that's it goes to show how effective the Israel propaganda was to really eliminate the idea that Palestinians are human to them. Like they don't really see Palestinians as people. Like if you see a lot of the settlers and how they behave towards Palestinians, it's crazy to think that this is considered human treat. Like I don't know if you heard about this reporter named Shireen Abu.
Oh, Shireen Abu.
She was a Palestinian American Christian reporter who was killed by Israeli snipers. And during her funeral, right, the Palestinian people, which were majority Muslim, so much respect for this woman. They wanted to give her a proper burial. But what happened? The Israel Defense Force come in, attack them. and then stop them from actually giving her a proper burial. There's like famous clips of the people attacking her casket. They were carrying her casket, and they attacked all these defenseless people. Why? They say it's like, oh, this would the Israeli people would say like, oh, this might cause like a violent unrest, but it was the Israeli people who go into the mosque where she was being cared to, like in order to prepare for her funeral. It's inhumane treatment of the Palestinian people. That they don't see them as human anymore at that point, and that trickles down to a lot of like normal Israel civilian who might not agree with that kind of treatment, but they're not very aware of that kind of treatment as well. I the thing is that I try so much to like to give proper chance to Israel civilians, but then there's also such thing as like there's this thing that Israel people do where they go to the mountain and they watch at the Gaza. They sit on top of this mountain that look at Gaza at night, right? And then they watch as Israel bomb part of Gaza. And every time a bomb land in Gaza, they all cheer one. And this is a well-known thing that happened by Israel. Like, they don't see people in Gaza and Palestine there as human. They see it as things at that point. Which I don't know, I want to say is like because they are thinking that way, or is it just because they've been influenced to think that way? So it's not, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to not say things that I might regret about Israel people. Because the thing is, I know like a lot of Israel people, surely they don't think that badly.
Actually, Israel, the army is more than enough to conquer the Gaza. Why not they want to landed the bomb, because landed the bombs, right, will be the hurt is the people who are get hurt.
When you land bomb is it? But the thing is, right?
They want to make the entire Gaza city become destroyed.
Yes. So
why not the army can go inside to look for the army who are attack the
this
army.
Is the thing of under Netanyahu, the current leader of Israel. He doesn't believe that, at least from what I can tell, he doesn't think that the life of Palestinian is worth to sacrifice Israel soldiers. But Israel civilians, he doesn't mind apparently, because hostages taken there by Hamas, and they say like, oh, we will let them go if you agree to a ceasefire and everything, or don't attack us or don't bomb us. But the Israel army said, well, we don't care. Let's just bomb everyone. Consider them as dead people. Let's just bomb everyone instead of sending soldiers in to try to get the people out. I think like, from what I've seen, Netanyahu doesn't really care about Israel's civilian, and more about power and ensure that the Palestinian all just die one. They just want to genocide the Palestinian people and Gaza people. And yes, if you look objectively, Israel has all the power, all the military to do all this. But if they go on a war on the ground, war ground there, it will means more casualties among the military, and they don't want to sacrifice that. They don't mind sacrifice a few hundred civilian to bomb like 1 million Palestinian.
If let's say Israel conquered the Gaza, this area, the Israel is more bigger. I think the US power is like the flag. I have a flag in this Arab state. In some of these Arab states, it become Israel is one bigger place, then the United States had the power there. Do you think this will be happen?
I don't know, man. I feel like after this conflict, right? Which I'm afraid to say that it seems likely that Palestine will get wiped off. I mean, not like completely gone, but they will feel what the Jewish felt during the Nazi era, during the genocide. And after that, maybe we won't see any retribution towards Israel until much, much later, like in 40, 50 years later, when they say, oh, I guess what we did back then was really considered war crime, crime against humanity. But right now, people are just like, we want to kill. and there won't be any pushback towards that, especially from the Western world, because Western world is unconditional support for Israel.
Mm.
And surprisingly, China also is a supporter of Israel.
Oh.
It's a complicated. Well, I don't want to say complicated. Actually, it's not complicated. This is just war crimes, basically. And the ending doesn't look good for Palestinian people. We can try to provide as much aid as possible. Malaysia also recently announced during the budget 2024 that they will be sending 10 million ringgit in terms of humanitarian aid towards the Palestinian. I do believe a lot of the Muslim countries are trying to support as well. There is Iran and Egypt, well, particularly Iran, saying that the Israel continued attack on Palestinian might incur a war, or at least like retribution from their side and everything, which might put Israel in more conflict afterwards. But yeah, it's going to be a clusterfuck. We are seeing more wars coming in. We got Ukraine war, we got this war, we got how many other wars there lah?
Upcoming the argument for North Korea and South
North
Korea.
and South Korea. And then
Chinese,
what you say, China and Taiwan thing?
Chinese, China and Taiwan. I think no, then so messy. The world is messy, bro.
I think better we just like shoot one nuclear and then everything end.
Yeah, it's just a restart.
But I don't want it to end, man. I still want to live life.
But for us, it's like more than just for 20, 30 years to go before our.
But has there ever been this kind of situation to this degree? Like when we grew up, right? I don't recall there being this much like fighting. I guess the only thing I remember is just the Iraq war lah.
Iraq, and then I know the.
Did you say Bosnia at that time, was it?
Yes, there were 1997s, 1996 at the time. Yes,
The 90s at the time. Well, of course, the biggest one was always been like the Iraq war lah. And ever since then, it's like things change forever. I feel like this will also change things forever lah. I do believe like after this, Israel won't be the same anymore. Palestine won't be the same anymore. The rest of the world will be different in another ways for the worse lah. Similar to how 9/11 changed the world for the worse lah. Like how invasion of Iraq and everything. I feel like we will just go back in circle again lah.
Maybe we are trick is we trick every like because US the United States people is like trick the some certain religions lah. It's like the people who are like tourists and all that. It's a mainstream. What you call it? The mainstreams.
Mainstream media.
Mainstream education. We call it.
Oh, mainstream education.
Mainstream education for the people. Actually, it's not necessary. It's like 911. It's not. It's some kind of like. Are you believe 911 thing is a. What is this told by the mainstream? Maybe it's just the US. They want to do the ones as like.
No, I mean
movie.
like there's a lot of like what's called what's that word? I forgot what it's called. It's like consent something lah. It's basically story told by the mainstream media in order to get you to agree to something that might not necessarily true, like something like WMD, weapons of mass destruction. They put out that story to convince you that attacking Iraq was the right thing to do, but in the end it was not true because there was no WMD.
Yeah, correct.
But you know, we don't really realize it until it happened. And
it's just a wayang for people. Oh yeah, you guys is right. US
but the
is
thing
a
is the
hero, you know. Something is like
the thing in the end is you need to remember is that at the end, it's always the people who get the bad experience there lah. The soldiers who die or who get trauma and all this, the people who lost their families, the civilians who lost families and children, brothers, sisters, and all this. But the owners of all this corporation who push all this, or the politician who agree to all this, they get nothing ma. They just get all the money and then enjoy life until whatever lor. So how? How now? How now?
Lucky we are just we want to live peacefully lah.
I mean, what, in your opinion, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen moving forward?
Moving forwards, I think this is a started, is a key or is a kick start from this war. I mean, maybe some other place they want to war. I say, hey, you see, this place can started to. I mean, for the war to use a weapon to solve the problem or solve the solution. Some places maybe they have the.
Okay, let's simplify even more. Do you think the conflict will go on between Israel and Palestine?
I think it's more go on. Yeah, sure it will go on, sir. Like the I don't know, maybe more worse.
I mean, like, would you be more willing to understand the conflict between Israel and Palestine more now, seeing what happened?
Of course, I'm more clearer the picture because if let's say for the war, right? Actually, the war it's not saying I want to today I make the war. It's because there's so many history. It's become the things is or not today. I want to do the war for. I mean, to fight for each other. Yeah, I think it's a lot of things that becomes they want to start the fire.
It's to say like who started it first. I mean,
of course, it's hardly to judge. For us to hardly to judge because it's so many.
Okay,
years.
then let's do this. What do you think? Palestine or Israel should do? What should they do? Wow, I'm giving you like as if you try
this
to.
one is a very hard question. If let's say for me, I'm the people, I will fight back. That's
If
all.
you are Palestinian,
Yes,
you will
it's just
back.
fight back.
I
Fight
mean,
for the fight for my own.
the thing is, right, a lot of the Palestinian or the Hamas people is basically saying that rather than just surrendering and dying a slow death, they rather just be killed while fighting. That's what's happening now. Personally, for me, like, I think the only way things can solve in a amicable way is that for Israel to stop bombing and stop the attack. This is the first thing first. Stop. But unfortunately, I don't think they'll be stopping anytime soon because, as I read, they're starting to mobilize the ground force already. So now after finish bombing, well, I think they'll continue to bomb after this. But now the soldiers are coming in. But by then it's already too many victims already. So it's a it's a fucked up situation.
So you have a Gaza people. What do you do?
If I am a Gaza civilian,
civilian.
the thing is, which is I hate to say, is that if you want to see the next day, you need to make a run and try to find shelter somewhere, which is easier said than done, I know, because a lot of the places they run for shelter, hospitals, UN shelters, are being attacked by Israeli forces, and it's hard to say lah.
But their mention is 24 hours to move to the other side.
Which is
it's a really
inhumane, man. This is like
that impossible. 24 hours, right?
You think you can do 24 hours escape? I can barely do 1 week to pack my bag also, bro. Like they think just Palestine would just like, oh, okay, you go now lah. Like,
They just announced 24 hours, but before the 24 hours, they
already bombed
bombed.
already.
Yes.
Which is, what's the point of that? Like, it's like they say they want to be human, but they're not really doing it at all. Which, okay, I feel like we always end up trying to paint Israel as a whole as an evil entity. When I do realize that a lot of Jewish people don't support like the Zionist movement and everything. This is an IDF, an Israel government, an Israel authority, and people like Netanyahu and their desire to really just kill everyone without seeing the humanity. It's, I don't know lah. It's depressing lah to say to come to it lah.
So sad.
Hopefully there's a peaceful way for things to end, but I don't think things will ever be peaceful between Palestine and Israel anymore after this lah.
I think I should, entire the world government should have a lessons, or should have take as the war is easy to make a war for fight for. It's the pity. Actually, the pity is the people, the civilization, the civil.
The people is the one that
people,
suffer lah.
yeah, the suffer. So actually, government just want the power and everything. Then
Is it worth it? No.
is it worth it or not worth it?
Is it all? Is all this worth it?
After the war, do you think you no need the money or the you are actually you do a war, you have a lot of the expenses,
The cost is
the cost, and then the people.
the most important is the people cost lah. Is it worth the cost of lives to really do all this?
So I also not wish to see the next have a next war again.
But I think like at this point, right, war is going to erupt like all over the place already. The thing, Malaysia versus Singapore for some reason, or Indonesia for some reason, all of South Asia war each other.
Yeah,
one.
next time Malaysia fight with Singapore.
Like for some reason, suddenly because of like Jocelyn Chia, we go to war.
Singapore riches ma. So Malaysia maybe we go to attack them.
Or something like
rampas.
Singapore is taking our resources by using our oil, and then we start war like that. Like stupid things like this, no. It's always stupid things like this when war happens. Okay lah, this is quite depressing episode. Well, I think we'll end it on that. And if you haven't noticed, yes, we did have a slightly change of our background design. Slightly bigger, I feel. Maybe we will improve. Maybe we will change even more to do more design.
Hey, you guys, please subscribe our
Yes,
channel.
as always,
you see,
share, like, subscribe. We're trying to improve. We're trying to expand.
we have no money for improvement.
Yes, this is all out of pocket.
no
It's our
fun,
own.
no fun for
It's no
improvement.
funding at all. If anyone there want to sponsor us, become a VC or angel investor, we are more than open to it. Okay.
For the normal, just subscribe and then thumb up our videos.
Yeah. As long as you share, like, subscribe. If you enjoy what we talk about, whether you agree or disagree, we love the engagement that comes from people.
Yeah.
And we hope that you join with us for the long ride here lah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all for today. Until the next episode, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
World peace.
World peace. Love and peace.